Pow Hour, and let me I think most everybody the three folks who have signed up for the three folks who have signed up for tonight, I don't know, you've been here before. So the Public Pow Hour, this is basically an opportunity for you to share with us, council. We're here to listen. There are no directors here. The only staff is Jamie, our city clerk. She'll be taking minutes. That way, because on the mayor website, we can track this, so if there's any initiatives that we need to be working toward, you'll be able to pull that up and see that status. So what I would ask of you is, if you've got a group that's here for one topic, I'd ask for one person to be that spokesperson, and what we're doing is we got three groups, or three folks, so I'm going to give you 5 minutes would be the tops to be able to share with us so we can ask you questions, because we will need to end a little early tonight just because we've got all the youth appreciation night. So with that, Mr. Ed, I'm going to ask you to come on up, sir, if you're going to be the speaker. And if you would state, Ed, your name and address for the record, and then it's all yours, my friend.
Okay, great, thanks. I'm Ed O'Neill, and I live on Loblolly Court, 2017 Loblolly Court, in the neighborhood of the North Augusta High School. And that's what we're here tonight to address the situation of the traffic in that area during the dismissal of high school at 3:30. The main areas are White Bark Avenue, Curtis Drive. We have, those areas are completely blocked. Sometimes cars are parked on both sides of the street. People are driving down the middle. Kids are walking down the street in front of the cars, behind the cars, whatever. It's just a real dangerous situation, I think. And we have asked the police department to come in and, do something about it. They said, we have no authority. They're not breaking the law, because as long as they're sitting in their car waiting to pick up some kids after school, they're not breaking the law. Well, To me, you are, because you're blocking intersections where cars can't get through. We've had neighbors. I haven't personally, had a problem with getting into my neighborhood, at that hour, but I know my neighbor has. I've had 3 people in our Loblolly Court die within the last 2 years. And if that ambulance had to come get them at 3:30 in the afternoon, they would not have made it. We have one lady, we got a letter here from one of the neighbors, said, she actually witnessed it one time when the ambulance couldn't get through. I've asked the police department to send a fire truck through there at 3:30, see if they can do it. They said, no, we're not going to do that. So, it just sounds like no one's trying to address the thing. And there's also, we understand that the city does not have a traffic engineer. So when the new plans for the high school were proposed and everything, they didn't have anybody from the city to say, okay, this is how you need to divert the traffic. Well, that's the architect's job, and he's got to present it to the school and to the city and everybody else to have approval of the plans before they start any kind of construction. None of that was done. And my thing is, it's not going to happen anytime soon, maybe. But I think it's not an if. It's just going to be a when somebody really gets hurt. Kids walking from the school hit by a car, or emergency at the high school that they've, emergency vehicles have got to get to. This is a real problem. So anyway, I'd like to, read some letters from some of these folks that have sent.
And we've got copies of all those.
You've got copies of all that. Okay, you've got copies.
And the ones you're talking about are, I say that, from Pam and David Stewart,
Yep.
from Betty Franklin, as well as for Dana Wagner, as well as yourself. Okay. A couple things before I let council ask you some questions. Do you recall when you actually talked to public safety? I mean, are you talking about, was this a year ago? Was this last month? A month ago. Okay.
A month ago.
Okay. And then have you also although it's not school property, I know there was a letter that did go out on March the 28th from John Murphy, the principal, that was talking about some of the challenges that they were seeing, and we're trying to encourage parents to handle that. Have y'all had any conversation with Principal Murphy directly?
Pam, I think you did.
Pam
has.
Okay.
And, he told her that they have tried to get them to come around to the side on the visitor side of the football field.
Yeah.
That drive right there, and people can walk out of the student parking area to, meet their parents there, someone to pick them up from there. It's just not happening.
Okay. Last thing before I turn over to the council, ask some questions. The thing that I guess surprised me, what you said, what we talked earlier, was, as you know, every one of our schools are in neighborhoods. And this is every one. But
Exactly
the
right.
only thing that surprised me at North Augusta High School is I was not aware, whether it's Hammond Hill with Paul Knox, North Augusta Middle, it's one lane. What is shocking to me is I had no idea it was both lanes.
They're parking on both
Yeah,
sides.
that's something, I got the picture. So anyway, that's
Yeah, I know.
surprising. So anyway, questions for Ed? Anybody? Yeah.
Because I'm one of the guilty ones. And I told Miss Ed that
Well,
we
you
know.
came to the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go way back.
But Pat Carpenter has done what Mr. Murphy, he sent one letter out to begin with.
Did he? Okay.
Then
March
he
the 28th.
got another one out, and that I don't know if you've got the second one.
I just got the one March
But
28th.
this one tells us to go down by the visitors or by the main office and circle, then you turn back out and go back out. Now, I am doing that, Mr. Egan, I promise you now. And, but one thing it is, too, those are state roads, and before because they are, the police, and I was with you the day the police was there.
Yes, you
They said we're not breaking any laws, these people, but the only thing, we are parking on two sides. If everybody did one side, that might make a little difference. But it's two sides. And what else was it? But like I said, if we could just get people, and it might be we need to get a police there just to say, Mr. Murphy has told y'all where to park and go now. And, till everybody gets used to it. So,
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Anybody else for questions?
I was just gonna say, that's the school district and that's the principal, and unfortunately, it's the parents. And everybody wants to circumvent the system so they can get in and out faster.
Yeah.
So the plea really is to the parents and the students, that they need to follow the directions they were given. But hopefully we can do something.
Well,
something
I
valuable.
can answer that by saying too, Paul Knox Middle School used to have a line of cars
Yeah, they
going
did.
all the way up Pisgah Drive. All the way back down to White Bark Avenue.
They made an adjustment.
They made an
They
adjustment.
did.
Hammond
they
Hills made
adjust-
adjustments too when they built a new school, and
Eric,
so
we
did.
need to have to move on. Eric, any
Yeah,
questions?
no, I just wanted to clarify something. The school district, they don't bring us the plans. That's done through them. When you were talking about, a traffic engineer, we get the
Planning
blame.
commission.
Yeah, we get the blame for a lot of that stuff, but a lot of that never comes to us. I just wanted to clarify that, and you are correct. Hammond Hills used to be the same way when I lived over there, but they made an adjustment and they redid it, and it's not near as bad. So if we can get the school board and the principal on board, I think that's really about all we can do.
But Ed, so what we'll do is we will take this under advisement and just see exactly what steps we can do to help facilitate that, okay? And we'll be back in touch, okay? Thank all of y'all. Appreciate great information. Thank you for all those pictures. At this time, is Pam here? Pam DeMeyers? Is Pam here? Yeah, you're different, Pam. Yeah. I think she's, okay, well, I want to jump to, then is Miss Preston Sykes? Is Miss Sykes here? We may be giving Ed more time. Now, Miss Sykes, Preston Sykes, she's going to speak on some road deterioration and cul-de-sac parking issues. Mrs. Preston Sykes. Okay, that's fine. And you talked to Pam, didn't you? Not that Pam. Pam DeMeyers. Okay. All right. Huh. Okay. Yeah, we still got a little bit of time, so just Ed, I didn't want to cut you off with it. I feel like we got all the information, so is there anything particular else you need to tell us? Do you feel like you've given us enough information? Because we're going to address it, I know, because I'll give you another minute or two unless the other folks come in. Come on, and Pam, I need you to state your name and address for the record, please, ma'am.
Pam Stewart. I live at 1901 Lodgepole Avenue. And I live on a cul-de-sac 1 block from the high school. And I have personally talked with John Murphy several times. He's been very nice, and he sent out several emails to the parents. But the pictures that I have sent you guys and that you already have, you can see the pictures the day after he sent out his email asking parents not to park down there. It doesn't make any difference. It's just a very dangerous situation. And I have sent emails to the school board. I've sent pictures to the school board. They're aware of it as well as you guys. And we're just sort of desperate for some help. If we ask the young people not to walk through I have sometimes 60 kids walking through my yard in a day, 60. And they have destroyed our yard. And if we go out and ask them to please not walk through our yard, you might be surprised at the response that we get from them and their parents.
That definitely would be much harder, because that is personal property, but you're absolutely right. But I think we can facilitate something as far as, there's no need to have both sides. I mean, I was just not aware of that. That's shocking to me. I mean, that's the only school like that, so.
You can't get in and out.
No,
An emergency vehicle.
No, I mean, your pictures are quite clear.
And that's why I gave the ones when we had our lightning strike this summer, and we had, I think it was 12 police cars show up and 2 fire engines. That would not have been possible if that happened after school.
Well, again, thank you very much.
Okay,
And
thank you. I appreciate it.
we're working on it.
Does anybody know, is that a state road or is that a city road?
Well, state roads.
About 80% of them are. So kind of the way the Public Power Hour works is, in advance, we have people request time, and it looks like Pam DeMeyers is not here, and she might have gotten confused to the one we're going to have coming up in 2 weeks, or maybe Preston Sykes. So if, at this point, is there anybody in the audience that has anything that they would want to share with council that is not on the agenda, that we're going to be starting that meeting at 6 o'clock? So while we've got a little bit of time, is there anybody that has anything in particular outside what we're going to talk about in this regular council meeting that you need to share with us? Okay. Well, we are going to all sit here in silence together for a few more minutes, okay? Because we do have to keep it for our length of time.
That's right. I might not get to go to the reception.
two folks didn't come, so I'm gonna
Well, Britton, I'll show you my car in that picture. I'll show you my car in that picture.
All right, one last call, Pam DeMeyers or Ms. Preston Sykes, are they either one here? All right, we're gonna close the powwow hour, thank you.
And I don't know.
If the students are gonna be council representative, y'all wanna come on up, you're more than welcome. And find your council person.
Oh, I'm glad to get out of my seat. It's too low. I do, but it goes back. I guess it's big booty. Hey. Huh? No, lost. That was awful. But not only that. Now, who is this? Josh, come on, little buddy. You got me, Josh. Now, Josh, this is your little treat. You got that little pen. I remember you coming to Miss Coyle's class. I know it. You remember me? Yes. I was hoping I'd get to see you. I love this. Yeah, put that on and wear that with pride throughout North Augusta. And then there's your little name tag, too.
try to turn it off because
That green light.
Good evening. I'd like to call the City of North Augusta regular City Council meeting for April the 17th, 2023 to order.
You're welcome to join me in prayer. Dear God, we ask you to guide City Council as they make decisions for our community. Help them to listen to each other's perspectives on all matters. Thank you for allowing us as students to participate in this Youth Appreciation Day. Amen. If you can, stand please. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Catherine has a very confident voice. I like it. Okay, at this point, we're going to item 3, roll call. And what I'd like to do, we're going to start from my left. And if you would, including the student, if you would state your name for the record, speak in the microphone, and we'll go all the way around so we can make sure everybody recorded.
Lauren Lusk,
Eric Presnell.
Kinder Alexander,
David McGee.
Josh Rodriguez.
Pat Carpenter.
Michael Cohen.
Kelly Zier.
Catherine Newman.
Britton Williams.
Tamia Jenkins.
Bob Brooks.
Imaj Prillo.
Jennifer McCauley,
Charles Basket.
Kevin Toole.
Blake Junis,
Carlos Beta.
Do we, all right, item 4, do we have any additions, deletions, or corrections to the City Council meeting minutes of March the 20th, 2023, or the study session minutes of April the 10th, 2023? Okay, hearing none, they stand approved as distributed. Thank you all. Okay, item 5 is proclamation. So tonight, well, before I get into that, I'm going to change it up a little bit. Since we got such a great turnout and I want to have a captive audience for a lot of y'all leave us, I'm going to move what I normally, comments I make at the end of the meeting to the front of the meeting, and this really is just some recognition and announcements. First of all, I want to congratulate publicly Rachel Moody, who is our Assistant City Administrator. She received the International City County Management Association candidate designation, and that's quite an accomplishment. Rachel, thank you very much. Let's give her a round of applause. And Chief Thomas, we had a gentleman, Mr. Officer Alex Harmon. He graduated, I believe, a couple weeks ago or the end of March from the South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy, and we are excited about him beginning his service. So I know he's not here, but if you know Officer Harmon, please congratulate him for being our newest member. And Chief, thank you for that. Also, Roy Kibler, who heads up our maintenance area. We, again, Arbor Day Foundation names North Augusta a 2022 Tree City USA. That's a great accomplishment. We've had quite a run under Roy's leadership with that, so I just wanted to let folks know of that accomplishment. And I don't have officers, but Chief had a number of public safety officers went down to Beaufort to the Command Leadership Institute a while back, and that's where officers learn strategies to deal with critical issues in law enforcement. So the great thing about our public safety and why they are the best is under Chief Thomas' leadership, they have continued to improve and grow and continue to get education and learning so they can take care of all of us. So we have an amazing public safety. So I'm really thankful for their efforts. Everybody like to eat? Nobody likes to eat? Okay, I'll raise your hand now. So in a partnership with the Chamber of Commerce, our tourism department and North Augusta Forward, we're having something called inaugural Taste of North Augusta, and that's going to be from April the 20th through the 23rd. And you can go on our city public website. I know the chamber has it on their site, North Augusta Ford has it on their site, but this is going to be an opportunity for you to go to a lot of different restaurants throughout North Augusta in different areas and sample and try out their food. So this has been very successful in a lot of other communities, and most communities will do it for a whole week, but this is the first time we've done it, so it's going to be just those 3 days. So get that in your calendar, look for the restaurants listed, and go. You don't have to buy a ticket or anything, but go and check them out. That'll be supporting businesses. You'll get some good food in your stomach, and it'll be a win-win for everybody. Let's see, what do we have? Children's Place, which is a nonprofit organization in Aiken that also does a lot of wonderful work here in North Augusta as well. On May the 16th, they're having Celebrity Waiter Night, and at Brinkley's Chop House, Salt and Marrow, which is at the Crown Plaza, and Snowcap. So they've got a number of different celebrities in the city of North Augusta who will be your waiter, and they'll be preparing, taking your order. So go out and support those restaurants. I know Snowcap was the only restaurant last year, and they were packed, and all the money goes to Children's Place. So I just want to that's May the 16th. You can go on our site, but the information's out there. And last announcement is very important. On April the 25th is the general election. We have an election for 3 candidates for city council. So that is, if you want to know what your polling location is, all you've got to do is go to the City of North Augusta website. Under News, the third link will say Municipal Election. You click on that, and then there's a link that lists, if I'm in precinct 27, you're going to go to North Augusta High School, but it's all there. And if you don't want to wait till April the 25th, you can go to Aiken County Courthouse, and you can vote early up until the 24th. So this is an important election. Use your right, the vote that you've been given. So please vote on April the 25th. I can assure you, a town our size, your vote does matter. So please do that.
Mayor,
Yes.
just a quick correction for early voting.
You're
Ends
good
this
at it.
week at Friday, April 21st at 5 p.m. over at Aiken County. If you're in the city of North Augusta but live in Edgefield County, you would go to Edgefield County.
Very good. Thank you. We have a great city clerk. She keeps me straight. All right, we're going to move forward now. So, okay, proclamation. This is Month of the Military Child. Whereas the city of North Augusta wishes to pay tribute to the resilience and courage of our military children, over 2 million active duty, National Guard Reserve, and children of veterans who did not make the choice to serve but live each day supporting their brave parents. And whereas from a young age, children of service members sometimes endure long separations from their parents and shoulder the burdens of service. They spend holidays and milestones apart from those they love the most, or celebrate with only a short phone call or a virtual chat from a faraway parent. And whereas the physical, social, and emotional well-being of children in military families is essential to their success and has a direct impact on the strength of military families serving our country, and whereas by ensuring military children are safe and supported in our schools and communities where men and women in uniform can focus on the challenges, the missions they face in the line of duty, and whereas observing the Month of the Military Child demonstrates our support for military children who make daily sacrifices so their parents can keep our nation safe. Now, therefore, I, Britton S. Williams, Mayor of the great city of North Augusta, do hereby proclaim April of 2023 as a month of the military child, to encourage all citizens of North Augusta to take time to honor our military youth and their family members who care for them. And in that recognition, do we have any students or any folks who are children? You can be an adult of any military families. If so, please stand. If you are a child of a military parent, or no matter your age. Anybody else? Let's stand up, man. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Woo! Okay, this is going to be fun to see how we can herd all this. So what I'm going to ask everybody to do is, all of the council students, I'm going to ask you and council, we're going to come around. Myself and council are going to stand on front of the dais, and then all of the students, the council and the ones who are with the directors, I'm going to ask you to line up in line behind Miss Moody, and we're going to give you your recognition, your certificate. So everybody will do that for me. Come on. And I know I jumped ahead, but we can go ahead and get this done before I get to Tony. I saw Rachel looking at me, so I know. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. All right. This has been a full, I think okay, that's fine. You'll get it at the end then. We'll do it that way. This has been a full day for the students. We met them here at 9 o'clock. They got to introduce the directors who they work with, spent the day with, and here to sit with the day, introduce themselves. They then went on a tour of our water treatment plant. They went on a tour of public safety. The fire station chief already posted some stuff on social media. They had a lunch. But this happens really because of one organization besides the city, and that's the Optimist Club. And Optimist Club is the Friends of Youth. This is an organization, nonprofit's been in business here in North Augusta. I say in business. They've been serving the youth in North Augusta for over 50 years. We do the Christmas tree every year. So if you need a Christmas tree, you need to come out to the Optimist Club. But Joanna Arnold and Chris, y'all have kind of spearheaded this. And I want to thank you on behalf of the city for that, because they really provided the lunch. They coordinated this with Rick, our Parks and Rec. Thank you for that. Joanna, anything you want to say? Okay. So anyway, so what we're going to do now is we're going to call up each student. We have a certificate to give you, and you're going to go through the line and let council congratulate you. And then our Mayor Pro Tem, Bob Brooks, has got a little gift bag for you. So how's that? Okay, Miss Catherine Newman, the mayor. Come on. Congratulations. You know that there. Miss Lauren Lusk, where is she? Thank you, Lauren. Appreciate it, yeah. Kinder Alexander, come on down, Kinder. There you go. Thank you. These are all council members, by the way. Josh Rodriguez. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it, buddy. Tamia Jenkins. Congratulations. Amaje Prelo. I do that all right? Okay. Thanks, sir. Appreciate it, man. Okay. Charles Baskett. Hey, Charles is a football player. Thank you, sir. Okay. Blake Junis, City Administrator. I think she may have something to say a little bit later. Thank you, Blake. Okay. Carlos Betha, Assistant City Administrator. Thank you, Carlos. There you go, sir. All right. Samantha Salazar. Come on down, young lady. There you go. Thank you, Samantha. Okay. Kaylee Winger, she's Director of Parks, Recreation, Tourism. Thank you. Anne Marie Partle could not be here. She was here earlier, could not be here tonight, but she has been our Director of Engineering and Public Works. So we'll get this to Anne Marie. Fine young man here, Mr. William Cato. Come on down here, Cato. Come on, William. Director of Planning and Development. Good to see you, man. Mariana Davis, Director of Public Services. That's a big role. There you go, trust me. All right, Jessica Lawson, Director of Public Safety. Keep Chief Thomas straight over there, Jessica. All right, Michael Cohen, City Attorney. There you go, young man. All right, Emma Carter, Manager of Human Resources. Thank you, Emma. And Mr. William Sanders, Manager of Information Technology. Okay. I'll tell you, I am thankful to North Augusta High School and the Optimist Club. This is a sharp group. This is the second year we've gotten to do it, this council has, and it's been a lot of fun. And parents, I will tell you, thank you for being here. It's evident, I can tell you, just from talking to the students today and just from what they've dealt all day, y'all have done a wonderful job with your children, and you ought to be commended. So, students, give your parents a round of applause for a good job raising you. All right. All right, with that, we're going to, everybody, y'all get back in your seat. Where's Mr. Anthony Tony Sharp? Come on down, Tony. I think he's here. Come on down, young man. I figured you wouldn't mind waiting since you're retired. You can wait a couple more minutes. All right, let me tell you about Tony. Tony began his career with the City of North Augusta in the Public Utilities Division as a utility laborer 1995. Whew. He spent his entire career in the public utilities where he has provided exemplary technical service and worked with multiple city divisions throughout his tenure. Tony has dedicated his career to serving the citizens of the city as a frontline maintenance and construction technician of essential utility services. Tony has done an exceptional job as utilities foreman and mentoring his fellow coworkers. Our well wishes, Tony, to you and your family for happiness, good fortune throughout your retirement. You're too young to retire, but enjoy yourself. You're ahead of the curve. But thank you for your service, sir. And we've got a plaque for you that says, North Augusta, South Carolina, Renfrew, presenting to Mr. Anthony S. Sharp in appreciation for your dedication and service, April the 5th, 1995 to April the 5th, 2023, from Mayor City Council, City of North Augusta, South Carolina, April the 17th, 2023. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Tony. Okay, we have got one old business to finish up, and this is ordinance number 2023-08, authorizing the sale of excess city property on Riverside Boulevard, parcels 007-15-03-001, 007-15-03011, and 007-15-03010. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
So moved.
Okay, Ms. Carpenter, is there a second?
Second.
All right, a second, and then Mr. Brooks, thank you. Anything you'd like to share about this with us, Mr. Clifford?
Mr. Mayor, this is an item we had discussed in a previous study session and in a council meeting, but for those that are just joining tonight, what we are in the process of doing is recommending the sale of 3 city parcels that basically make one lot, if you will, just off East Buena Vista. So if you're traveling eastbound on East Buena Vista past the Public Safety Headquarters and the Courts and CID building on the right-hand side, you'll see a metal bridge in an empty lot. That empty lot is the properties that we're talking about here. And so ultimately, that was supposed to be the site of the Public Safety Headquarters. And when the decision was made to move that up to the Georgia Avenue site, presented the council with an option to sell this to a commercial entity. And so we had an open bid for this, and we received a high bid in the amount of $391,100. And my understanding in talking to the potential owner is that they look to do some residential aspects on that site. So with that, our recommendation is to move forward. That'll add some density to our downtown. I think it's a good use for the property, and we can use that money in the capital projects fund for other city requirements.
But the bridge is not part of that.
No, the bridge is not for sale with the
Temporary,
property.
Okay. Are there any citizen comments? Okay. Any council discussion?
Other than I will vote against this. I do not believe in selling city property, because over my years, there's been problems with, we sold something and then we wish we hadn't. So, and especially with our community center, fireman's hut, tennis courts, all of that within that area, I cannot support this.
Okay. Any other council discussion? Okay. Hearing no other discussion, I will ask for a vote. All in favor? And opposed? So that's 6 yay, 1 nay. Thank y'all. All right. And this is exciting because I'm going to turn it over to our mayor student, Catherine Newman, and let her handle our first resolution under new business. There you go, Mayor.
We're under new business. So number 9, public services, resolution number 2023-19, authorizing the purchase of residential recycling containers from Auto Environmental Systems. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved. Second.
Anything you want to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Thank you, Mrs. Mayor. Under new business, we have Resolution 2023-19, authorizing the purchase of residential recycling containers from Auto Environmental Systems. I'm going to defer this item to our Assistant City Administrator to discuss the specifics of this resolution. Over to you, Carlos.
The resolution is presented to City Council tonight for the purchase of new recycling bins. The Public Services Department is changing how residential recycling is collected, and residents will soon use a separate recycling bin for curbside collection. We followed our purchasing guidelines and sought bids from companies to find the best price on recycling bins. The low bid was from Auto Environmental Systems for $113,792. Administration recommends that City Council approve the purchase of the bins from Auto Environmental Systems for the low bid. Does the Public Services Department have anything to add?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to provide a few comments. We are looking forward to implementing the new curbside recycling process. As part of the new process, the city will provide free recycling bins to all residential customers. We will be purchasing 18-gallon bins for residents to put all their recycling into. Residents will use their rolled carts for trash, which is anything that cannot be recycled. With this resolution, we will be able to purchase 11,200 new recycling bins.
Are there any citizen comments? Okay, I'll ask for a vote. Raise your hand if you are for the vote.
Raise your hand. No, that's council. We're going to do that. Just the student council.
Oh, sure. It is a unanimous vote of 7 yeas.
Okay, that is a great mock vote. Let's give them a round of applause. That's awesome. Okay, we do need to have my sheet back. Did I take it from you already? I bet I did. Yep. Okay, now, since officially as council, do I have a motion to approve the ordinance on second reading?
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Toole, Mr. McGee, thank you. At this point, is there any, we've gone through any council discussion?
Rachel,
Okay.
can you just go over real quick why it's beneficial to move back to the kind of the clean recycling?
Yes, good.
Absolutely. As we've rebuilt after the fire at the materials recycling facility, it is more efficient and more advantageous for us to
to have a clean recycling facility whereby only recyclables come in. There's no cross-contamination from other food or any other types of materials that might otherwise get mixed up in your trash can. It allows us to recycle more, to make more money off the commodities that we sell, and it will also increase the amount of recycling output that we have coming out of the city.
Rachel, you and James have done an amazing job, and staff. This is something we get asked a lot from citizens. When are we going to recycle? As far as we've always recycled, don't misunderstand. The difference is you're going to have a bin now to recycle, and it'll just be cleaner. So thank you for that effort. So any other questions? Then at this point, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you very much. We are now at item 10, ordinance number 2023-09, authorizing and directing the City of North Augusta to enter into an intergovernmental agreement relating to South Carolina local revenue services to participate in one or more local revenue service programs, to execute and deliver one or more participant program supplements, and other matters relating thereto. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on first reading? Okay, Mr. Presnell.
Second.
Okay, Mr. McGee, thank you. Anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The City of North Augusta, as with most municipalities in the state of South Carolina, participate in the Municipal Association of South Carolina's services to include certain business license tax and collection programs. And historically, these programs have been known as the Insurance Tax Collection Program, the Broker's Tax Collection Program, and the Telecommunication Tax Collection Program. And so in the last year, the Municipal Association has collectively rebranded these programs as local revenue services to better reflect its purposes, and has renamed the three business license programs as the Insurance Tax Program, the Broker's Tax Program, and the Telecommunications Tax Program. And because we participate in all three of these programs, and because of the name change of the programs, and because of the change to the state's business licensing law from Act 176 of 2020, in order to continue to participate in these programs, we're required to pass a new ordinance. And so all municipalities participating in MASC programs are going to be going through the same items. And really what it does is cleans up their system from having individual agreements with each of these cities that are written somewhat differently to one standard for all municipalities across the state. And so they had asked us to consider this and pass this ordinance locally by May 26th. And so we'll meet that timeline if the city so votes in this manner.
Very good, thank you. Are there any citizen comments? All right, any council discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Okay, item 11, administration, resolution number 2023-13, appointing members to the Beautification Foundation Board of Directors. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Okay, I think that was Mr. Toole and a second by Mr. Brooks. Thank you. And is Ms. Clifford or Ms. Moody, you going to handle this?
I'm going to kick these next two over to Rachel.
All right, great.
Thank you, sir. I'm happy to. If you all recall, we passed resolutions in December of last year to establish Public Safety Foundation and a Beautification Foundation. We're excited to get those launched this year. And one of the first steps that we need to take is to appoint a board of directors. And so we have 7 individuals to be appointed to each foundation board. This particular resolution is to confirm the members of the Beautification Foundation. The future members were all invited. Not all of them were able to attend tonight, but as I read the names, if any of you are here, if you could just stand where you are and wave a hello, please. Mr. Britton Williams.
I'm not going to stand.
Ms. Pat Carpenter. Those are our 2 council member representatives. Ms. Laura Kilburn.
I don't think she can make it.
Yeah, I do believe she was the one that said she couldn't make it. Ms. Cheryl Wensick and Mr. Brian Wensick. We have Ms. Robin Hooker. Thank you, ma'am. And Ms. Trina Mackey. All right. Thank you all.
Very good. Are there any citizen comments? All right, any council discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Item 12, resolution number 2023-14, appointing members to the Public Safety Foundation Board of Directors. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution? Ms. Carpenter, second. Mr. Presnell, thank you. Anything you want to share on this, Ms. Moody, that you haven't already?
Yes, sir. In similar fashion of the Beautification Foundation, we're excited tonight to present to you names for individuals to be a board of directors for the Public Safety Foundation. For council members, we have Mr. David McGee, Ms. Jennifer McCauley, Ms. Lisa Eisler. Oh, thank you.
Lisa, good.
Ms. Becky Dearden. We do have a incorrect spelling on the page in your packet, but we have corrected the resolution that you'll sign for tonight. Mr. Jason Payne. Mr. Butch Fagan.
All right, Butch.
And Mr. Mike Ward. Thank you.
Rachel, I'm going to put you on the spot. I meant to ask you, do you mind just briefly, if you don't mind, just share with everyone the basic idea of what we're trying to accomplish with these two boards, if you don't mind?
Sure, absolutely. The purpose of the two public charities that we're establishing really is to work in conjunction with the city. These are two independent entities. These are nonprofits. They will be tax exempt entities, so they can accept donations of items of cash that are charitable for the individuals who are making those donations. And so the Beautification Foundation will work on a number of issues. It's a fairly broad name, and that is on purpose. The board will work with residents in the community as well as the city to identify needs. So for example, if there is an area of town that needs an extra pocket park, a little place to sit, the foundation can help to fundraise in order to install such a park. And on the Public Safety Foundation, there's a number of things that they can do. For example, if we would be interested in expanding any of the divisions within our department and we needed additional equipment that we couldn't otherwise fund through the budget, any specialized equipment, the foundation can help with that. And I think one of the biggest fundraising and projects that they're going to be able to undertake getting going is the officer memorial area that will be installed at the new public safety headquarters site on the green space that so many residents and council members and frankly public safety officers are interested in having.
Good. Rachel's done a great job with this. She's really spearheaded this. And I think one of the benefits is if you've ever made donations to a nonprofit before, there's a tax benefit for you, right? Well, this now, because you're not really giving it to the city, this is a nonprofit. This is not going in the city's budget. This is strictly that foundation will manage that. And so if there's a project that you are passionate about, here's a vehicle now that you can make a donation that will be a benefit to you tax-wise and that you can control. I want this to go toward new banners, okay? So I think it's going to be really open up the doors. It's a number of communities in the state have begun to do this, and I think it will be very powerful. So just want to thank you, Rachel, for your efforts on that. Okay, are there any citizen comments concerning this foundation? All right, any council discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous again. Thank you very much. Oh, and I just want to, I got to promote while I can promote. You know, we did really promoted this a lot last year, folks, and quite frankly, I've done a poor job this year. I think I've only mentioned this one time. We have something on the mayor website called the Citizen Involvement Form. If you go to our city, North Augusta webpage, there's a block in the middle that says Mayor's webpage. You click on that, and one of the things that's in there is a citizen involvement form. And 6 out of the 10 people that we just recognized and appointed filled out that citizen involvement form. We're building an inventory of citizens who say, hey, I want to be a part of what's happening. So, one of the pillars of this council for the last 2 years has been communication. And we have been working hard to give citizens a voice. And my experience has been when you give citizens a chance that you listen to them like our public power hour, you give them an opportunity to voice their feelings, and you give them vehicles that they can use like the citizen involvement forum, then what happens is citizens, y'all become advocates for us because guess what? You're participating in the process. It's not the 7 of us up here making it happen. You're actually part of making this community continue to make it a great community. So we try to be very intentional about that. So if there's some area that you think, hey, I'd like to participate in, or I don't even know if I know I want to participate, but I just want to be available if need be, fill out that citizen involvement form. I'll be frank with you, not everybody that fills it in or we're going to be able to do right away. We appointed a young lady to our municipal election committee. She filled the form out 18 months ago. She said, I want to be involved with the municipal election committee. And there really wasn't a place for her at that time. Unfortunately, one of the members on that municipal passed away. And because of that, in January, we could appoint her, Tamika, to that municipal election. So we're trying. So if you're interested, please fill out citizen involvement form. It's important. I'm preaching like I'm in church. Okay. Item 13, public service. Resolution number 2023-15, authorizing agreement with Valley Public Service Authority for water purchase and wastewater collection. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Okay, Ms. McCauley, I think that was Mr. Presnell, was second. Anything you want to share about this, Ms. Clifford?
I think Rachel's best suited to talk through this particular agreement, so I'll defer that to her.
Okay, great.
Thank you. This resolution is for council to consider to vote for the city to enter into an agreement between the City of North Augusta and Valley Public Service Authority. Both us and VPSA are utility providers for this region of our county. With this agreement, VPSA would become a customer of the cities for both water provision and wastewater collection. The location where these services will be delivered to the customer are part of, or will be held at a proposed mixed-use development, which is planned at 1001 Old Aiken Road at the intersection of US 1. The development site is currently not in the city limits, nor is it contiguous. It's owned currently by Turner Development, and we do have Mr. Tracy Turner here tonight in case there are any questions for him. As part of this agreement, not only does VPSA become a customer of the city, there are 4 financial components. The first one being the city will upgrade 2 of its existing lift stations and install a master meter. The cost of this is $816,072. This is reimbursable to the city by VPSA, who is then to be reimbursed by Turner Development. The second component is that VPSA will purchase water from the city using the rates that are provided in Section 4 of the agreement. They'll have water rates just like any other residential customer would have within city limits. Component number 3, VPSA will make an upfront purchase for wastewater capacity from the city. As you know, we have a limited amount of wastewater capacity in the treatment plant. This is a purchase of $160,336. There's additional information about that in Section 5. And last but not least, the city will meter, collect, and transport wastewater from the location to the treatment facility. And there will be monthly rates for those as established in Section 6. Again, billed just like all residents are. I would like to note that in passing this resolution, council not only directs the city to undertake this work and enter into this agreement, but it requires that an annexation be signed by the property owner, Turner Development, prior to the annexation. And I do just want to clarify that the annexation agreement is something that the property owner signs and says, I understand I'm not contiguous now, but if I should become contiguous in the future and the city asks me to annex in, I will agree to do so, and the annexation agreement does stay with the property, even if it turns over ownership.
And if I'm not mistaken, from the study session, from what James shared, this will be quite profitable for us based on the revenue at build-out versus expense. It will be very nice. So
Yes, sir.
it's a
That's
good
correct.
win for everybody.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Rachel. Are there any citizen comments? All right, any council discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Very good, thank you. Thank you, Tracy, appreciate your efforts. Thank you for your investment in the community. Okay, item 14, resolution number 2023-16 to certify a property located at 210 Georgia Avenue. That's tax map number 007-14-10-005 and 200 Georgia Avenue, tax map number 007-14-10-006 in North Augusta as abandoned building sites pursuant to the South Carolina Abandoned Buildings Revitalization Act. Do we have a motion to approve this resolution? So moved. Okay, Mr. Brooks, is there a second? Okay, Mr. Presnell, thank you, sir. Anything you'd like to share about this, Ms. Clifford?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is our first foray into the South Carolina Abandoned Buildings Revitalization Act. We have a number of properties that would be eligible for this act, but this is the very first one that we've seen with the developer. And so ultimately, what the city council will be doing is certifying the status of those properties for the state of South Carolina in that it's been at least 66% vacant for the last 5 years. It's not operational for income producing purposes. It is not a single family residence, and that the investor using the tax credit was not the owner at the time of the abandonment. So through all those things, the city council then has the ability to certify this for the developer to move forward with the tax credit for the state of South Carolina. In this particular instance, the developer is not requesting a property tax waiver, which is good for the city. He was asking for a state level income tax waiver, which is not going to have a direct effect on our overall tax rolls here in the city. So it's a net positive. We've seen other communities, to include Hartsville and Easley, use this to great effect, and think this is a good potential option for us for infill development here in the city limits.
Okay, very good, thank you. Are there any citizen comments? Okay, any council discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? Oh, there was council? Yes, oh my God, thank you. You should have done that, or you got to tell me, yeah. Yeah, yes. Ms. Jennifer McCauley will be recusing herself. Yeah, I think I'll start that again. Is there any council discussion? Okay. Hearing none, I will ask for a vote. All in favor? Okay, that is unanimous, 6-0. Is that correct? Yes, okay. Very good, thank you. Come on back now. God. Sorry about that. Okay, item 15, resolution number 2023-17, authorizing expenditures of coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds, expenditure request number 5. Do you have a motion to approve this resolution? Mr. Presnell, second. Ms. Carpenter, thank you. What would you like to share about this, Ms. Clifford?
I'm going to defer the large part of this to Rachel Moody, as this is a Parks, Recreation, and Tourism item. What I would say is that items 15 and 16 are linked in that in order to move forward with item 16, 15 will have to pass from a funding perspective, and this deals with requests to enter into a contract with Musco Lighting for our fields there at PRT. And so I'll push this over to Rachel.
Thank you. We are requesting an additional chunk of money to what was previously budgeted for an LED light conversion project. This year in the budget, you all budgeted $250,000 to actually reinstall lights on the soccer field next to the water treatment facility. This has been a long time coming. The 250,000 would have sufficed if we would have just focused only on that project. However, it was beneficial for us, cost and otherwise, to at the same time upgrade the lights that we have at Lions Field. Those lights are in desperate need of upgrade, and the LED will not only provide better quality of lighting, but of course more efficient lighting. And so we were able to, at a cost of, pardon me, we were able to, at a cost of $339,800, do both projects. So the difference that we're asking through the SLUR funds is $89,800. So your approval of this resolution will allow us to fully undertake the project to do both locations.
More bang for the buck.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
That's great. Lions Field needs it, as well as the soccer field, seeing y'all. That's great. Okay, thank you for that. Are there any citizen comments? Any council discussion?
Not discussion per se, but I just want to say, Rick, thank you, because, you know, if we can get out of here in time, I'm trying to make my soccer game that I got to coach. But that field is in desperate need of lights. I mean, we can't even find time to practice. I mean, soccer has become a huge part of this community. Same thing with football. I think the LEDs are great. And like Rachel mentioned, I think it's also going to help, you know, I know a lot of people say that's a big expense. But then if you look at the power savings, you know, I'm an electrical contractor by trade, so I'm going to tell you the difference is huge in what we will be saving on lighting moving forward.
Very good. Any other council discussion?
I was just going to say that I'm glad it's happening. You know, coaching on those fields for the years I have, everybody else has done it. It's real dark out there, so it's a safety issue too, so I'm excited about it getting
Very
done.
good. Okay.
I got one.
Yes, go ahead.
Too much needed. Two projects that should have been upgraded years ago. This was one of the last projects that I worked on, was the Soccer 5, and it was never funded. So I'm glad to mention tonight we're funding that Soccer 5.
So when you were director of Parks and Rec? When you were the director of Parks and Rec?
That's correct.
Okay. So director of Parks and Rec for how many years, Bob? A long time? And this is your second term on the city council, and we're finally getting it done. Good job, congratulations. All right, I'm gonna ask for a vote. All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. That was for 15. We still got to, even though we talked about 16, I know we got to do I have a motion to approve that resolution? Resolution 16, resolution number 2023-18, authorizing the City of North Augusta to enter into a contract with Musco Lighting.
So moved.
Okay, Ms. McCauley first, second Mr. Brooks. I think we've already heard what we're doing with that. Are there any citizen comments about this one? Okay.
Mayor, Mayor, I apologize. I was remiss. The Parks Department has calculated the estimated savings that we will have with these new lights.
Okay.
So just to clarify, the lighting saving over 75 more on power bills and than the existing metal lights. In addition, the lighting of the LED lights is much brighter than the current ones.
Very good, thank you. All right, that's awesome. All right, any council discussion? Okay, here now, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? That's unanimous. All right, whew. Okay, now we're at administrative reports. Is there anything we need on your end, Ms. Clifford?
Nothing from the administrator's desk today, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, I really said all my stuff. Is there anything for the council that you would like to share? Take it back. Well, we'll do that, come back to that. Okay, at this time, item 18, presentation, communication, recognition of visitors. Citizen comments. At this time, if there are any citizens that want to speak to mayor or council about anything that not on this agenda, this is your opportunity. We'd love to have you come forward. I just ask that you state your name and address for the record. So is there anybody out there that has anything they want to share that's not about the agenda items that we just went through? Okay, hear none. Is anybody from council before we adjourn? Anything anybody needs to say? Kevin? Jen?
Well, Mayor, you might.
Ms. Pat?
Well, just, we
Oh,
sort of go through this when we have young people. The reason we didn't have a lot of questions
Yeah,
on the
good.
things we voted, because we discussed it a lot last Monday night. So tonight was the vote. So we didn't want you to think we just sit up here and vote yay or nay and who cares, okay? But all these things on this agenda was discussed last week.
And I'm going to piggyback on that, not just for the students, but for the parents, the citizens, okay? We meet 4 times a week, and what we implemented 2 years ago was a study session. So at the study session is like Ms. Carpenter says, this is when we get into details, we ask questions, and you're allowed to come to that study session. And what happens is you have this agenda the weekend before that study session. We talk about it. If there are any questions or issues, you can talk to council the week of, and then it goes out again, and then we vote on it. So we're trying to give more communication for folks. So the real crux of what happens is at those 2 study sessions, which is the 2nd and 4th Mondays of every month. So thank you for reminding me to say that. Mr. President?
I was going to say that, Pat beat me to it, but, students, I hope y'all had a great time today. Show of hands, who's going to show up to the study session next time? I hear crickets.
Okay, now I'm going to let our Mayor Newman to adjourn. You just hit the gavel and say we stand adjourned.
We stand adjourned.
Good. All right. And if, Chris and Joanne, if y'all come forward with the students, I want to get a picture of everybody with all the council folks. Great job, young lady.